Hey, hey, hey. Hope everybody's doing good. Carl Bryan coming at you with our boy Kenya Patch. Kenya Patch, you there, buddy? What's happening?
Here. Hope you guys are doing well. It's a good day here in Nairobi, Kenya. Nairobi, I mean.
To Nairobi. Any giraffes hanging out the front of your place? Make us all jealous.
No, I'll tell you though, I met a friend I hadn't seen in probably 13 years. Used to hang out with her husband. He's still alive. But I met this lady and today with my wife, and she said, "Hey, we moved up north for a little bit, and we had 5 horses on our property, and we used to go riding every day with a zebra and giraffe." I'm like, "Oh, I want to do that." So
Wild. Wild, man. Different world, dude. Different world.
yeah,
All right. But anyways, speaking of different worlds, folks, this is the Profit Acceleration world. And if you guys have a question, either raise your hand or chuck a question into the box and we can read it out. If for whatever reason you don't have any audio. So again, ask some questions. And in the meantime, what I might do is open up a couple, folks. I can find my little dealio here. Open up a couple folks and let's say hello. Let's see who we got. On the top, Bob Larkin. Bob Larkin is at the top. Let's have a look at what Bob's up to. Bob, you're self-muted. There he is. Hey, hey, Bob, you're live. Oh,
it was live.
He's self-muted. Bob, I don't know if you wanted to chat. If you want to unmute yourself, buddy. Look, was he saying hi, Pat? Oh, there he is. Bob, you're live.
I am up. I'm in Florida, new to the group. Looking forward to it.
Oh, cool. In Florida, what's in Florida are you?
Pensacola, West Florida.
Say that again, where?
Pensacola.
Oh, cool. And where, help me. I don't, which side? Is that like, we're Sarasota, Fort Lauderdale-ish? Point me in the right direction.
Pensacola is as far west as you can go in Florida. You go out of Pensacola to the west, you're in Alabama, Mobile.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. Well, there you go. So you're new to the crew, are you?
I am, sir, but I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
You bet. Awesome. Well, good to have you here, Bob. I thought that was a new name. So there we go. Put you back on mute. And where am I going to go here? My boy Juan. Let's have a look. Juan was in the process. I think he just moved to Texas, folks. So I bet he's got a gun hanging out in his pocket right now. A big gun, because everything's big in Texas. Isn't that what they say? Juan Velasco, where are you, buddy? There he is. Juan, you're live.
Well, sir, no, yeah, I'm in Texas, and yeah, I can confirm, coming from California, everything is bigger in Texas, man.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Everything from like the food, from like an avocado, from you name it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Gun.
I love it.
You got a gun in your pocket? Make
I
everybody.
do. I got a gun in my pocket, and so when I go jogging in the morning now, like almost every day, I see a turkey. And for the life of me, I don't know. I saw a turkey on top of a tree branch, so that was new to me.
Are you being serious?
Oh yeah, no, I'm dead serious. I mean, so my question is though, is like, if there are turkeys everywhere and everyone's carrying a gun, how come every day?
Welcome to Texas, man. There you go. Turkeys running. I thought the giraffe was cool. I don't know. I think he might have just trumped you.
I'll post a picture on Facebook of the turkey I saw. 2 of them actually. But it's pretty cool.
Oh, but it's on Facebook?
No, I will. I saw them this morning.
Yeah.
So I'll post.
Yeah, put it. Oh my God, that sounds hilarious. Anyway, so tell us. So, how long you been in Texas now? Pretty short time.
Going on 3 weeks.
So 3 weeks. That's pretty fresh. How's it going so far?
Going great. We're just kind of working on the strategies, kind of like we talked about as well. And yeah, no, I see a lot of growth here too for small businesses. I mean, they all need our assistance. So just got to keep.
Have you started up your events yet? When you Lefty, I remember you went on a run there. You did like what'd you do? 8 presentations in 9 weeks or something crazy?
Yeah, it was like back to back. So the good thing with that is I have all my presentations and all, like all my, essentially like my whole schedule that I built. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. Not yet. So my plan is to just went to one networking event, and no one's doing presentations here. So that's my goal, is just to go in. I already have all the presentations from what I built from what LPW gives us, chopped it up, and now I can give them a series of presentations, right? That's what I'm gonna do.
Yep, that is it. So in other words, you don't just have one canned. You go and do multiple different presentations, right?
That's correct. All the way. So from the information I did from like a startup, and I think you gave me the actual topic. It was how to build $1 million business in 90 days, which is essentially the 5-step profit formula, right? Going from 62,000 to over $1 million with a couple strategies, and just kind of divide up all the 12 strategies that we have in the PAS into different presentations, essentially.
Yeah, cool. Greg, I think Greg Gillespie's listening. Greg, I bet you heard what I just heard, but that's a good. You were asking about it. Just Greg, one of the other guys here. In fact, I might open him up and say hello after. But that's a great name. How to build $1 million business in 90 days. That'll put a lot of people in the room. How to sell a business and how to sell your business in 90 days for $1 million. That's another good name. And by the way, if you wonder, well, how the hell would I do that? The way that you build a business is the same way you sell one. You build one with a solid foundation. So very cool.
Correct.
So good stuff, Juan. So
thank you.
Shaking, man.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. Again, I'll give you another one. How to raise your prices without losing customers, essentially as well.
There we go. Actually, anybody else listening, the podcast I did this week is all about running events. So I think you might want to go check it out if you're going to get, which you are, right? But you're going to get rocking and rolling with that. Basically what happened is in the pre-show, we opened somebody up and then they mentioned, well, I'm going to do an event to do. And I just kind of threw it to Road Dog and I said, ask me that question first and we'll kind of, we'll go through it. Well, in the entire hour, we kind of bounced back and forth, Road Dog and I. We didn't even get to question 2. So it was just an hour on building events, and we threw out some pretty handy strategies. And the timing is obviously now that everybody's, the world's opening back up and we're getting back to some sense of normality. Live events should be on your to-do list, folks. They're literally bulletproof. Hard work, but bulletproof, and yeah, you should be doing them. So that's good. All right, Juan, we'll get any inspiring words for our fine folks here before I put you on mute.
Oh, just keep moving. I mean, some days are better than others, and obviously, some of them you get those calls and nobody wants it, but then you just get that opening, and it's like the sun's shining through the clouds, right? So we just got to keep that momentum.
That's it. Every day, man. Consistency, man. Consistency. Okay, cool. All right, Juan, we're going to put you back on mute. Appreciate it, buddy. All right, I'm going to come up. Greg, I'm coming for you. Greg was, we may have spoken to him on Tuesday, actually. Spoke to him somewhere. Greg, if you're self-muted there, buddy, if you want to say hello. There he is. Greg, you're live.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Wow.
How you doing, buddy? What's happening?
Oh, I'll tell you what, 100 miles an hour. I had a great conversation with the London Chamber of Commerce today. And wow, they're on fire, folks.
What do you mean? What was the conversation like? Help everybody. We want to hear it. What happened?
Beautiful details to wait. Thanks for painting the picture. So this is my first exposure to chambers. So I went ahead and sent out a list to the individual that I decided to reach out to ahead of time. And my list was pretty straightforward. What are your do's and don'ts? Then I went on to ask her, what do they offer in terms of size of rooms and how many bums and seats we can end up. Apparently, as a side shot, the boardroom there here in London apparently is the best in the city. He keeps hearing from.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I said. Very reasonable. They've got an individual, Wendy is her name, who will do all the coordination. I went ahead, and you're going to love this. This is a Carl Bryan Classic. You can't get to second base, folks, with your foot still on first base. So while I had her, oh yeah, I'm jacked. Well, I had her on the telephone, named Janie. I had booked, you ready? 6 dates. So I'm starting in August, every Tuesday, every other week. So
Yeah.
they blocked it out already. We don't know, of course, if we're going to have all of it. It was a boom. She said, yep, we'll lock it out for you. So I've taken all your advice. I've got a local company who's a member who offer discounts in terms of food for this breakfast, lunch, and or dinner. Yellow card. Do you have a snapshot? I love that yellow card. I'm serious. And my wife is 50% owner in our company. So I can already see my sweetie of 40 years together handing out the yellow cards and me standing. I already see this. This is going to happen. Standing with my pen on the card, like Road Dogg said. And yes, most folks are, as you know, they're coachable, thankfully. Most folks are unfortunately lazy. So if you take the time to nicely, calmly. So lastly, since our last conversation, you painted that beautiful picture, absolute gold, and they'll fall off a log for you. I hear you. And that's where I'm focusing my attention. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I hear it and I love it. What you're doing, you're inspiring me and you're inspiring everybody on this call, man. I love it. I love it. Hey, just a quick, you mentioned the best, actually, so a little bit of advice. How many people fit in this room?
Largest room is 30, and then the other 3 rooms will sit at 10, 20, or 30. So a 10, a 20, a 30, and then a fourth one, which is the boardroom, 30.
Yep. Okay, here's a little bit just so and again, the bottom line is if you just do this every week for the entire year, this conversation will completely flip, and then you'll be telling me how this works, that doesn't, don't even try this. That's just part of the process, right? Always thinking and being strategic. But here's what you're going to find. Okay, so you're going to be generating leads, and you're going to, 10 people are going to say yes, and then expect, 5 or 6 to show up, right? If you have a kitchen table that fits 4 people, and then you put 5 people around it, it feels crowded, okay? Crowded is a good thing. Like, have you ever been to a baseball game or a hockey game or a football game where it's a stadium that fits 20,000 people and there's only 5,000 people in it? Although 5,000 people is a lot of people, it feels empty because of all the empty seats, right? So if you go to a Tony Robbins event and it's a stadium of, 10,000 people and only 5,000 people there, they will always black out all of the chairs, right? Not by accident. That's why they do it. So what I'm getting at is hopefully they'll be flexible with you, but so your much energy in the room matters. So when I have a kitchen table that only fits 4 people and I put 5 people around it, it's a positive because it feels crowded and that helps the energy. If you take the 5 people and you put them in the room that will fit 25, it's going to feel a little bit barren, a little bit empty. And again, energy's just, you can just picture it, right? You'll be lacking energy. So I just want you to think about that as you're putting these people in. And remember, Greg, what we talked about, like you want to put roughly 10 people in the room. 25, 50, 100, 1,000 is way better. Why? I just told you energy. But what's going to happen if you put 25 people every week? This isn't just for you, Greg. It's for everybody listening. If you put 25 people into the room every week, what's going to happen is you're going to be great at lead gen, but I bet you'll drop the ball on follow-up. So I prefer you put 10 people in the room and have excellent follow-up than put 25 people in the room and have kind of disjointed follow-up and then just assume that you're going to get another 25 and another 25, right? Pretty obvious, but that's an important part of the puzzle right there. So you're only going to put 10 people in the room. Make sure your room feels crowded with those 10 people is what I was trying to get at. Cool beans?
Heard it loud and clear. Yep. Heard it loud and clear. Yep. And you've been saying that all along. I just wanted to give you an overview of the different size rooms. It'll be that smaller room. And you never know. I got thinking about it. I haven't been able to sleep, to be honest with you, for the last couple of nights.
Love it.
Here's why. My first one is going to be, if we're allowed, August 9th. Can you imagine? That gives me plenty of time to use the Mastery and get the forms completed so I can get it to my printer. Can you imagine all of a sudden 100 people come up, like I can finally get out of my office, and there I am.
I know. This is it, and they're going to be. So And I just want to duplicate a conversation that we've had, but I want everybody to hear it. And by the way, guys, if you're liking this conversation we're having, you like the idea of doing live events, and even if you're listening and you're like, oh, I'd love to do a live event, but the truth is I suck at public speaking and it kind of makes me poop myself. Like, it scares me. Guys, push yourself. It's not about you. It's about the audience. And when you can put 10 people in a room and really shift them, some will buy from you and some won't, and some will come and try steal your customers. And this is just the way it goes. Don't worry about it. This is the way to impact an entire city, an entire community, by putting 10 people in a room on a weekly basis and really putting on a show and then getting much, 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 much better at it. But in sum, and what I want to take everybody to take away, if you follow what I'm about to say, I promise it's impossible not to have whatever coaching business you want, but let's just assume one where you make $200,000 a year, really impact the community, and you've got a steady flow of leads, a steady flow of clients. You'll have your client book filled, and then somebody will cancel. And instead of getting, having a terrible day and it ruin your week, possibly your month, it'll be water off a duck's back, because you'll be staring at all these yellow cards thinking, geez, I wonder who I'm going to follow up with next. Really what you'll need to do is have a team of coaches to do what I'm describing or about to describe. But here it is. This is what I said to Greg, and I think this is part of why he's so pumped, but maybe you could tell us that, Greg, here when I'm done. But everybody listening, every Tuesday morning, for a bunch of reasons I'm not going to bore you with here, listen to the podcast I did last week. Every Tuesday, put 4 to 10 people around a boardroom table, feed them breakfast, okay? Get up, do a really good presentation, okay? Whether they buy from you or not, you change their freaking life. That's your job, okay? Believe me, people will buy when you do that. You change their freaking life. Every Tuesday, you hire somebody, you make phone calls yourself, you do what I don't want you to do your best, guys, because you're going to get really busy and your best won't be good enough. You got to do what it takes. And you put 10 people in a room every Tuesday, shift them, educate them, entertain them, have some fun with it, right? Yes, you make money, make that secondary. Impacting them is the big one. And then at the end of it, you say, hey, if you want to get together, I can create a roadmap and I'll find you $100,000, 45 minutes without spending $1 on marketing or advertising. I've got this software with 497 million weighted algorithmic sequences. It will populate a roadmap that you will be able to use after our meeting and our get together to basically put $100,000 into your jeans, plus, build that 7-figure company, and probably exit within 3 to 5 years for a check that might look something like $5 million. Every situation will be unique, but that's what I'm going to do when I sit down with you. X amount. You just heard Greg talk about a yellow card. Just follow Live Event Mastery. It's all there. They will fill it out, and a percentage of those people will buy from you. And at the end of 12 months, you'd be the worst salesperson, the worst speaker, maybe even the worst business coach, which I hope that's not the case, because that's our job. We got to fix that one more than any other. But you will make a couple $100,000 a year falling off a log. And the only thing that will stop it will be you. And what happens is you guys do the events, you do one or you do two, and then you report back and say, this doesn't work. And you'd be wrong, right? Because you just didn't put the right people. Maybe you didn't do a good enough job presenting, whatever. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of different reasons. But if you just do that and you follow through for 12 months, it's impossible not to have yourself a killer coaching business. So sorry, Greg, that was a little bit long-winded, but I wanted everybody to.
It's perfect.
That was a little bit like our conversation, correct? And that was kind of what it looked like.
The timing was perfect for it, but to of course reach out to the folks at Chamber. You'd asked a great question. What's earned my attention? So I got looking at the LPW system and see all the different revenue stream capabilities which are available to everyone, and every one of them is real. Get up with Alan alone, superstar Alan. Turns out his teachings of reaching out and having that conversation for interviews for the Coach magazine, perfect.
Yep.
Now, as far as be able to close, that's a complete stranger on the end of the phone. Even cold calling specialists like myself, I love cold calls. I know that people say that's baloney. My teacher taught me. I had a teacher that he said, Gillespie, I'm not moving you to the next level until I want to watch you walk in. I'm going to sit out in the car and go in and close. I don't care how you do it, just get an order. So it's old hat for me. So I can handle rejection. Remember the old days when you'd ask that young lady to dance? She said no. It's like, no problem. On to the next one. On to the next one. Anyhow, so that's a revenue stream. Second one is the book and e-learning. All that works, but it takes a little bit of time, and that's all going to unfold. We'll all have 10, 15, 20, 60 folks enjoying the e-learning, and eventually take them and move along the coaching. But then I got thinking, what am I good at? Well, public speaking, clearly. So for the folks who are a little afraid to make that quantum step, I kid you not, think about it. They're going to have, the potential customer is now looking at us. They can see our body language. They can hear our voice. They can actually see if we actually have shown up for this event, meaning how passionate are we? And we're doing this. We're interrupting them, meaning they're getting in the car and they're coming to it. They've got their attention. We're engaging. So of course, there's the art of that person in the room who's got the power. He or she's got the white lab jacket on, the stethoscope around her neck, speak with confidence. And then you're now engaging, getting the folks talking back and forth, critical that you get them all talking and you get the juices flowing. Then you educate them, and then you hand out that yellow card, my favorite part, and then you follow up. There's your $200,000. That's why I'm going down this road.
Falling off, like I just tell you, falling off a log. But like you just said, you love cold calling, guys. Please listen. You know what I mean? Like part of, I think, Greg, why you're so pumped, because you can see a road, because you know you're the guy who's actually going to pick up the phone, pound through, and put those 10 people on because you're not worried about putting the 10 people in the room on a daily basis.
Nope, not at all. I see myself doing it right to the card. The card is like you have had to earn their attention for them to go, man, where's the pen? I got to fill this out. Come on.
I love it. You love the yellow card, man. I love it. It's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
It's got my attention. Hey, may I close on this? I've been in the teaching and coaching industry and working with different folks all around the world, like most of us. And it's funny how most of us were looking for something. We need something, just to icing on the cake, to kind of take everything that we've been doing so far to earn our 6 figures, and how do we take it to the next level? And it turns out yourself, Adrian, Patrick, the Ellen, and the team have done a wonderful job. I kid you not. I wish I would have phoned you folks earlier. I'm going to make the most of it. Seriously, I'm 62 years young, and I always wanted to finish my career. I really have. And everyone that knows me for the last 15 years, the next 5 to 7 years, my flaps are coming down, and I'm going to be steadfast on this, and then retire in my early 70s. To hell with it.
I love it. The only difference is I don't want you to retire. That sounds boring, man. The cognitive juices will stop flowing, man. Screw that. Screw that.
You're right. Good point. Good point. Well, we'll cross that bridge together down the road.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You know, just have some fun. Like Warren, I always say, like, if you want a sales pitch for becoming a business coach, I always say this: Warren Buffett is a business consultant, right? He provides time and money to businesses he can influence positively. And if he can't positively influence you, he doesn't give you his time or his money. That's that simple, right? The guy's, I think he's 90 years old and he's still going strong. And the question is, why is he going strong? Because he's having a good time, right? Like that's the magic. Like if you're so we get a business consultant / business coach listening in, right? And it's like, it's hard yakka, 90 days, and I'm not making as much money as I did in my job or whatever that looks like. First of all, you can't look at it like that. You got to look at it like, you know, Bezos, Buffett, all these, like you look at it from a 10-year block, right? And you'll make so much more money on a 10-year block than you'd ever dream. But here's the magic is that you don't need to stop, right? So if you're a realtor, once your knee goes or your hip goes or you don't get up the stairs very well, you're not selling any houses. Like it's just not happening, right? So then what happens? At the age of, like, if you've ever walked into Home Depot or McDonald's and seen somebody who looked like they kind of had their act together, but they're working at McDonald's, and then, you know, you're not saying this out loud, but you think to yourself, how the hell do you end up working here? You know what I mean? Like, what went wrong that you ended up working at McDonald's? Well, I just described it. What happens is somebody has a career, and then at the age of 60 or 65, when they're not quite ready, and nobody's ever ready, quote unquote, they get pushed out of their job, quote unquote, i.e. being a realtor, can't get up and down the stairs, and they got to retool. And some people want to retool at that age, but most people don't. right? So you don't retool and you end up at McDonald's or Home Depot. Well, as a business consultant, you never have to retool. Why? Because the longer you do it, the better you get at it, the easier it is, the more you could charge. So that means on your 90th birthday, like Warren Buffett, you'll be making significantly more money than you are on your 65th birthday. That's the magic, right? Like what we, like as a business, like there's three ways to make money. There's business, stocks, and real estate. That's it. There's no other way to do it. You buy a lottery ticket, that's just a business transaction that went very, very well. And I have a neighbor, by the way, that won $40 million. No joke. He was an unemployed, you look it up on the line. He was an unemployed welder, and then he made $40 million. Like, how you doing? Pretty awesome. But forget that. That's, you know, again, I always say, you know, screw lottery tickets. Rather than that, let's read books instead. Get a slightly better chance of, you know, getting the end result. But it becomes so much easier. So just imagine, like in 10 years' time, you're like, you know, you're going, Greg, to the Chamber of Commerce. Once you build up that relationship, the relationship becomes stronger and stronger. So again, in 5 years, in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, the relationship is significantly stronger. So you just let them know, hey, I'm doing an event, and they start letting everybody know, oh, wow, cool, right? He's doing another event. Everybody should come. Tell all your friends. So anyway, and by the way, guys, if you like this topic, listen to my the podcast from this week, because this is what we basically went over the whole time. But there you go, Greg. No need to retire, man. Just keep pounding like Warren Buffett. What I was saying.
You make a point. You make a point. I'm building the brand, and why take it and kill it? Just keep going as long as I can run. So I hear you, loud and clear.
That is it. And then again, this is why we have a program where guys again start crushing it, and then they build a team of coaches. So that is something, again, like there's no way if you do that event every Tuesday, even every second Tuesday, there's no way you're able to keep up. So what you do is you move away from doing the one-to-one coaching. You have a team of coaches, you farm out the business. They do the coaching, you do the strategic assistance with your team of 10 coaches and go. So anyways.
It's exactly where I'm going with this. I'm working with my mentor right now, and you're right. In short order, eventually I'll be going down that road, Carl. No doubt about it. I just want to get in every other Tuesday between now and September, and then go to page 2.
I love it. Good stuff. Well, Greg, Pat, could I just throw it to you for a sec, bud, in case you want to add anything, subtract anything, et cetera?
Well, I just think if you love helping people, then you're never going to retire from doing that. It's just part of your life.
Right.
And so it just would make no sense to say, hey, I'm 65. I'm going to stop helping people. I'm going to go and hang out in the golf course and do something I'm bad at. So, right.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
So it's part of life to help people, and you've got the tools to help people. It's actually immoral to stop helping people when you have the power to help them and change their life. So.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that. So like it literally is, right? Because again, guys, and just for everybody listening, if Greg goes outside, he picks up a rock and he throws it, you know, northeast, southwest, any direction, it's going to pass 2 businesses. And I don't need to meet those business owners to know that if they have a goal, their goal is to make $1 million. And you guys have probably all heard me talk about that. Stupid goal. Doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. You make $1 million and then lose 80 grand because you didn't know what the hell you were doing. So it'd be better to think about profit margin than you are gross revenues, right? But so the goal, and then they have these other, you know, crazy goals, and then they read the 4-hour work week, and then they read The Secret, and then they go to the influencer on Facebook and sprouting out multiple streams of income. Probably all know my opinion on that. And of course you should have multiple streams of income, but what I really mean is that have get one stream of income to $5 million, and then talk to me, right? Now is time for multiple streams of income. You know, passive income. Again, do you guys have any rental property, right? I got, you know, rental property. I just found out, you know, first of all, there's 2 dogs living downstairs in my bloody basement suite, right? And then the guy upstairs, Airbnb in my damn place, right? Because it's in Vancouver, which is a very popular, there's nothing passive about it at the moment. Let's put it, you know, this particular house, right? So passive income, again, sounds good, but it's for the textbooks. What I'm getting at is that the businesses that Greg would go outside and pass through, they think that 4-hour work week's a good idea. And the reason they think it's a good idea is they bought the book, read the cover, maybe read the back cover if we're lucky, got through 3 pages, put it down, and they think that the book is about a 4-hour work week, and they think that Tim Ferriss is
working a 4-hour work week and basically telling you that, which it's a book about having a kick-ass lifestyle, right? And believe me, Tim Ferriss, to get to where he's at, he was working 12, and this is well documented out there, right? But he's working his butt off for 12 hours a day on an easy day, 16 on a busy day, right? So, which by the way, is not good, bad, or indifferent. It's irrelevant. It's just that a 4-hour work week is not happening for your local business owner that Greg's Rock is going to go flying by. That's why you do your events, right? Get up there, and we have a word for word script. We got the 104 PowerPoint slides. We literally tell you where to press click. We do the workbooks. We do the feedback forms like the yellow card. We do all that stuff for you, right? But what I'm trying to bring across is you're thinking about doing these live events. I want you to go where Greg just went, where it's like, and Pat just went, like, you're going to impact the community, right? It just, you have a moral obligation to go. When you read the script to the 2-hour presentation, after reading that, you'd be like, oh my goodness, I've got a moral obligation to go get this stuff out there. Again, it's the business owner scrambling, the phone rings, they answer it. It's the Facebook ad guy. And I go, yeah, I just don't have any money right now. And instead of diagnosing the problem, the Facebook guy ad turns on the Facebook ads, grows the business, makes sales. Everybody thinks they're doing a great job. But then if you reverse engineered the original problem, you'd see that they have the place is disorganized and they're not collecting their freaking money, right? They have an accounts receivable problem, and you're paying tax on the bad debt, the money that you don't collect in accounts receivable. It gets worse because they actually pay tax on that money because it lives on an asset side of a balance sheet. I'm not going to get into that, but they basically pay tax on that. So it's like worse. And now they started Facebook ads to make more sales to not get paid. And they wonder why they have to go to their accountants and say, hey, can we wind up this business? Right? So that's why you do the presentations, a moral obligation to continue to educate people. And then a percentage of them are going to say, Greg, here's my credit card. Please help me. And he's a good sales guy, so his conversions are going to be better than somebody else's, but you just can't miss by following that strategy. So there we go, Greg. I'm glad I opened you up, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Pat. Good job. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So
think about.
Oh, yeah, go, Pat, please.
Yeah, I was thinking about morality here. If you believe that you can offer greater benefit to any other business, to any business, over and above any other business coach around you, and you should believe that because you're the only one in your area with this profit acceleration software and the roadmap that it gives you and all the rest, all the tools. So if you believe that you can bring greater benefit to the business people around you that are looking for help, and there's a lot of them, it would be wrong of you to let any other of your competition to take any of your business from you when you can bring greater benefit. You can serve people at a higher level. You can grow their profits faster. So if you're just sitting back thinking, oh, I'm going to watch Netflix today, then it's just the wrong choice in life. You have to get out and help people because it's kind of immoral if you don't, given what you've got.
Love it. And I agree wholeheartedly, as everybody knows here, but that is exactly it. Yes. You got and by the way, so then actually here's another important part for Greg and everybody listening. Okay. And I'll go to if you guys get my daily email or you listen to do the weekly podcast, guys, I have, by doing a daily email, I don't know where I'm at, but I must be, 400 daily emails. I have learned, we get 100,000 people on the database, X amount, listen, read it per day, whatever it is. If I collectively take all those people and what they've learned, and no doubt sometimes I give some great advice, I think sometimes whatever, I tell some bad jokes, and I know that, apologies, but I've learned more than everybody else combined, right? Who cares? And by the podcast, again, I can't tell you what I've learned from the podcast, right? On this call, as I open up Greg, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, well, yeah, wow, this is a good idea. That you're learning as you're going, and it's all compounding on top of one another. If you do the presentation every Tuesday, okay, what's going to happen is that you are going to learn more than the entire audiences all collectively added together, right? So it comes back to what Pat said, where are you the number one business coach in the city, right? And the answer, let's be fair, there's a pretty good chance that you'd come to the conclusion that if I'm honest, I want to get there, but I'm not quite there yet. Okay, well, get there. Like that's like, remember, don't do your best. Your best is not good enough, nor is Pat's, nor is mine, nor is anybody's. You do what it takes. That's the solution, right? So by doing those presentations, I promise you, there's a level of growth there for you. There's a lot of growth there for your audience, right? It's a big part of it. But the growth for you at the end of 12 months, between generating the leads, between convincing the people to come, between the communication, the lining up of the Chamber of Commerce, the relation, the accountant that comes, and then you have some banter back and forth. At the end of 12 months, what you will learn by doing that weekly event will blow your bloody mind. And that's how you'll become the number one. You'll legitimately be able to say in 12 months time or whatever period of time it takes you, you will become the number one business coach. And I do think that is a very noble and that is a really good goal for you, right? It's always, I want to make 10 grand a month. I hear this all the time, right? I want to make 10 grand a month. I just want to make 10 grand a month. Can you give me a path to 10 grand a month? Do you have a roadmap that if I follow it, you're comfortable that I'll get to 10 grand a month, right? And I get it. And we do have that, but I always change it the way Pat did. And I say, if you look at it this way, you will not only get to 10 grand a month 100 times faster, but you'll sail towards 100 grand a month. And the way, if you so choose, and some people don't, Greg may or may not want to be doing 100 grand a month, right? He wants to hang out with his wife, chill out, have a good lifestyle, which I'm all for that. It's just deciding what it is that you want. But by turning it around and really impacting those people, again, I'm going on a little bit of rant here, guys, but I want you to follow this. The best homework that I could ever give any business coach is a pen, a piece of paper, and then I say, write down 50 ways you are going to help an XYZ business owner. And then I'd say, okay, pick a restaurant. And if you Google my name and then restaurant case study, you'd be staring at when I originally started my 1 day emails, I did like a case study. It's 2 days. I think it might be day 9 and 10 or 8 and 9. But anyways, just go check it out if you so choose. But write down 50 ways that you're going to help a restaurant. The day, much like if you heard Greg's enthusiasm, this is, he can't wait to get at it because he knows he's going to crush it with these audiences. Similar to that is when you write down 50 ways to help the restaurant, you're not going to be able to sleep that night. And the next day, you can't wait to talk to a business owner. Why? Because if they pay you, they don't pay you, they send you a referral, you don't send a referral, you are going to shift somebody's existence, right? You are going to pay for somebody's kids to go through university through one conversation by just delivering. God, you'll write down 50 ways and you'll be like, if one restaurant owner does 4 of these things, they won't recognize their business at the end of 3, 6, 9, or 12 months. And they'll actually build a business so they could actually bloody sell, right? So anyway, and by the way, just have a look at the emails. You'll see some of the stuff there. So anyways, and that's why Greg is pumped, because he sees a roadmap where he's going to fill rooms falling off a log, and he's going to be able to give back. He's going to make lots of money, but he's more pumped up about the impact that he's going to have, I think, right, on all the participants over the next 12 months, right? And you could hear that when he was chatting. Anyway, so there you go. Go to there. Juan has got something for us. Where are you, Juan? Mr. Valesco.
Oh,
sorry, buddy, I can't see the.
Whereas I just had a quick question of the gentleman that, man, he pumped me up. He pumped me up on the live events. His energy was like blown up. So the yellow card, was that on your podcast or is that part of the live event mastery?
Okay, so where it comes from, just back in the day, again, I've done 400 of these local live events. When they did, I called it a yellow card, which it's just the feedback form that's part of live event mastery. And it's just like, give me your name, the name of your business, the address, your phone number, your email address. Give me some feedback. My presentation, I've done this hundreds of times. I built this presentation on the back of feedback from the participants. I'd love to know what you liked. I'd love if you have a criticism or you have some constructive criticism or something that I can help with, please write it in this box. And of course, if you want to get together and you want me to find you 100 grand, 45 minutes without you spending $1 on marketing or advertising, tick this. You can see the little calendar here. Tick the boxes of, actually put a 1, 2, and 3 there. So anyway, so that I'm describing the feedback form. And Greg was saying about Road Dog Lake, what happens is you grab a pen and you're holding up this feedback form and you start filling it out. It's an NLP kind of trick there, right? Where all of a sudden they start filling it out because it's very important you get them to fill it out. And yeah, it's just a feedback form, but yellow card, rather than just having a piece of paper, it's like cardboard stock, right? So just think the most expensive papered stock that you can buy, which is going to be significantly heavier than a piece of paper. We call it a yellow card. So that's the answer to that one.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. And thank you, Craig, for pumping us up today, and you as well. Thank you.
Yeah, good job. All right, Juan. Appreciate you, dude. All right, well, there we go. So Kenya, Pat, guys, we don't have a question, which is all good. We're going to let you guys go early if we don't have anything. If you do, put up your hand. Pat, any magic for our fine folks?
I've given all my magic today, Carl. Sorry.
I mean, buddy, you delivered some magic today. You see what Pat and I were working on earlier here. Listen, Pat, if they could see what we work on the software, honestly, man,
they'd be jealous. They could be angry, I think, Carl, because they'd say, "Get it to us faster. What's wrong with you?"
I know.
And I
know.
So we keep poaching developers from another country here, and I have to keep my head low, or else I'll be a targeted hit or something. So, we've got, you'll meet them in Cancun. These amazing guys. So, yeah.
You will. But yeah, we're working on some cool stuff, guys, like simulator and all sort of think of a small business tool that you're going to put in front of somebody. In fact, we may have changed live event mastery today, semi by accident, and possibly the gods came into the conversation to kind of direct us a little bit. But anyways, this simulator would make the foundation of one heck of a presentation. As I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, Pat, all I do is just stand up there and stare at this and enter numbers. And I'd have them frothing. But anyway, so yeah, we got lots of stuff happening, guys, but group coach, some of the stuff we've been working on, but a 7-month project about to come to light. But again, it's like anything. These things take time, guys. We got 3 software engineers working on your software right now. That doesn't include Pat and his magic, and believe me, it's nothing short of magic. So do feel comfortable, guys. There's stuff behind the scenes getting worked on that, daily. That's all going to be. You guys are all going to benefit. It is coming. It is coming thick. It is coming fast. But like the project now, it's a 7-month project, right? So kind of the way she goes, slow moving, like the Titanic. That's a terrible. It's actually nothing like the Titanic, but that's all right. All right, folks. Anyways, on that note, we appreciate you guys, and we will. What day is it today? It's Thursday today, so we will see you guys next Tuesday. So everybody have a wonderful weekend. Kenya Pat's probably going to have a cooler weekend than the rest of us because he'll be hanging out with lions and giraffes and all that sort of crazy stuff. But the rest of us can go suntan. How's that sound?